Good morning, everybody. February 21st, 6:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so I'm going to try to make this a short one, as I always say. But these are current temperatures. Now, when I said record highs yesterday, let's move that right to today also, because we are going to have another day of record high temperatures clearly in the area I'm circling with my mouse here. We had a tied record 2 days ago in Tampa, Florida. I think the number was 88. I didn't remember the number yesterday, but we're back to 83 in Florida. These are current temperatures. This is right now, and the sun's not even up yet. And I'm right about here. It's definitely warmer than 38. I'll tell you that much. It's like 44, 45 degrees out. I have this little temperature thing on my bathroom window that faces outside, so it's clearly warmer than this. There's no sun directly hitting it, so it's not extra warm. It's currently 40-something degrees northeast Pennsylvania. So again, just like I said yesterday, sometimes these temperatures here are lowballed. So we are going to have record highs in the east to the northeast, but here's the issue now. And the reason I pulled this up, this is null school. This is like a wind chart of our jet stream. You can change these settings to get a jet stream. Now, I want you to focus on something. I always talk about the Bermuda high pressure, and that is what's going on in the Atlantic Ocean. The reason it's called Bermuda is because Bermuda's in the area. This is the Atlantic Ocean. I want you to picture this area right here as like a pressure bubble, and what it does is it presses, you can see it spinning clockwise here, and that's due to our jet stream. Our jet stream is like polar, comes down through Canada, and this big dip right here is the reason that we had that talk yesterday about record temperature lows in areas of San Francisco, different parts of California. But you could see how dramatic this dip is, and then it just shoots straight up over, it's over the Great Lakes now, and this is why we are getting these record temperatures in the Northeast. You see this vortex going. It could be cold right here. It doesn't matter what the temperature is out in the middle of the Atlantic. Not the problem, but the situation going on here is that the air is being pushed through the Caribbean, which is very warm right now. We always talk about the Caribbean because we talk about those water temperatures we're watching for hurricane season. Now, it is 83 in Florida currently. I told you there's a spot in the Gulf that hit over 90 degrees yesterday. Down here is warmer than all of this. So down here is in the 90s. So you need to picture the air flowing in a clockwise motion. It gets picked up in the Caribbean and the Gulf and is being pulled right up into the Northeast. Now that is where we get these warm temperatures from. I always talk about the jet stream too. When the jet stream is dipped down really far, that's allowing the polar air to come through Canada and into the US. So we have these dramatic temperature changes, all because of what? The jet stream. Once again, yes, it is always the jet stream that causes our fronts, and because of the jet stream we now have this thing. This is all moisture that's being now pulled from the Baja region of Mexico, it looks like, and some of it's even forming. You can see these areas right here. When this, actually I want to back this up because that's unbelievable. Watch this storm just erupt right here. Boom, that is all moisture right there, and that is all being pushed up through Texas. Texas is getting record flooding right now. It's not like the entire state is underwater. I'm not trying to exaggerate the situation, but we have a lot of rain going on. There's areas in Amarillo, Texas, just north of it, that are in the 30s right now, while we have other parts of Texas in the 70s and 80s. Look at these temperatures again. That 32 dip right here goes into just above Amarillo, Texas. Dallas, Texas, I believe, is still getting rain. If we look at this chart, you can clearly see Dallas is getting rain, and now they have this coming up their way. So these are exploding thunderstorms, guys. Whenever you see this type of stuff, these are all thunderstorms. This is all moisture being pushed into this band that is being driven by our jet stream once again. And this front line now is what the issue is. Now this front line is basically where Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, if you live in these counties. Now I brought up the county website here. Again, this is at weather.gov. You can find this chart. This is a county by county description of what's going on in your area. You could clearly see we have that line here where you see that lime green, that's flooding area. We have high lightning going on in these areas because of the mix of the hot and cold. The dramatic temperature differences here are just crazy. Like, look at this, 32 on one side of this line, the other side is in the 50s. We're talking 20-degree difference, sometimes more, oftentimes more. 68 down in where are we? Oklahoma here, 68, almost 70, and then you can go over a 10-mile stretch and you are dropping 20 degrees into the 30s. That's how dramatic we're dealing with this thing, and this is also why we talk about the jet stream so much. This is that same chart that I showed you, that I always show you on Vent to Sky. You can kind of see it here. Everything's being pushed down this way, and you see this line right here on Vent to Sky. Even this site's picking it up. This is where that cutoff line is. Very hot, very cold, and in the middle is all crazy rain right now. And now over the weekend, like I said, we're getting a little, that dip is going to start to swing upwards. It's not going to move all the way across the U.S. Let's see if I can explain this better. You can see how this line here is moving up and then bending over like that. Well, that's going to happen. This is going to end up pulling upwards. It's not going to come across the U.S., I don't believe, as of right now. Unless we see moisture starting to blow up in these areas here to fuel this thing. I see this thing pulling up and it's going to move out of the way, but then we have another dip coming on its way. You can see it moving over the northwest of the U.S. as we speak. So, again, guys, we have record flooding in some areas. We have 5 to 8 inches of rain dumping right now. Texas got a month's worth of rain in one day yesterday. I believe the average was like 2.5 inches. They caked up 2.6 something inches just yesterday alone, and in some areas there was 3 to 6 inches of rain in Texas, and it's going to taper off around lunchtime, they're saying. So you can see how this whole system here is pulling upwards now. So we shouldn't see too much more moisture building up in this area. This is dry air coming from the Baja and from the Gulf of Mexico and from the Caribbean, because I showed you polar vortex wind charts or whatever. This is spinning this way. This is collecting that warm air and bringing it up. This is warm, dry air. This is where the moisture is coming from. So these two are going to meet, and it's going to push this entire front all the way up and over the northeast. So I hope I'm explaining that correctly. If I'm not, please just ask below if you need me to explain anything further. I have no problem doing it. I just try to keep these videos at a acceptable length so you guys can get your mornings done. But this is what we're dealing with. Here's tropical tidbits. Even they're showing that line. That's snow and ice. Major snow and ice issues going on, especially to the western areas of Iowa. We have Indiana. Chicago is getting colder now because this front has passed over. Yesterday it was like 40s in Chicago. Now we're dealing with around 30, 27 numbers like that, and it's going to continue to move west to east as this front that we're talking about. Here is a water vapor loop chart that gives you another view of it. You can still see that one storm exploding. That is unbelievable. I could watch that all day. Check that out. Just watch right in this area. Boom. That's a huge storm. That's like a big chunk of Texas right there being covered in moisture and rain. The Ohio River Valley is reporting areas of flooding all along the banks of the Ohio River. Storefronts, homes, they're reporting flooding everywhere, guys. And not that it has any relation to the Susquehanna River, which it actually does in a way, but I posted a video yesterday of a drone flight I had over the Susquehanna River to show the remaining ice jam that's going on. It's not causing any more flooding, but these chunks of ice that are still there, that were there in 70-degree weather, some of them are the size of cars. It's unbelievable. And there you have it, guys. I use this website a lot, too. This is a very good source if you want to look at charts and stuff. SpaghettiModels.com, great website. Again, we went through Vent to Sky. This is what to expect over the next couple days. You can see how this front pulls up into the northeast. And this is going to be through the weekend. This is Friday. Here is Saturday. And there is Sunday. So this area that is just under the Great Lakes, it's going to be rain. And then when you see these yellow areas, guys, we've already experienced some of this going all the way up through the west ends of Missouri, Arkansas, the top west of Louisiana, and then all the way up through like Illinois, Indiana, Michigan. We have record rain going on because we don't have that cold dip in the jet stream just here yet. But like I said, it's going to pull up. It's going to go over the Great Lakes. We may see some weekend snow in even high levels of areas of New York, Maine, Vermont, stuff like that. We just got to wait and see. There's still some more time before we can actually tell where this front is going to go. Well, this is the front, actually. What I'm talking about is the cold air that is being trapped in the jet stream from polar areas through Canada, because it's wrapped like that. When you get a down dip, air comes down. When you have the upflow, air comes up from the Caribbean. That's why we have these record-breaking temperatures going on all over the Northeast. And that's basically it, guys. Not so much of a different story than yesterday, just different areas now getting this crazy rain. You can see these light green colors showing up. That is saturated areas. That's where the flooding is going to happen. But we also have that cutoff line. So areas like Kansas City, Missouri, you might see your second ice storm in 3 days, maybe 4 days, I believe it is, which is crazy because then we have St. Louis, Missouri that is getting flooded and warm. That's how nuts this is. You cut a state right in half, you can go 10 miles one way, 10 miles the other way, and you're talking 20-degree temperatures. So very significant weather going on. We're going to see what happens with this dip in the jet stream here, maybe pulling together another winter storm, guys. So we can't, just because we've had a few nice days in the Northeast, you can't think that winter's over, because it's certainly not. We still have the rest of February, the beginning of March. I've seen the blizzards on Easter, so it's very possible. Let's hope not. Let's hope these warm temperatures stick around, or at least they become more spotty than they have been. But again, guys, this one chart here I had to show you with these blowing up thunderstorms. And then check out that lightning chart too. I'll link it in the description box, live lightning. That's it for now, guys. If you live in those areas that are on this in this band here, you are certainly either feeling or you're going to feel, if I could find it again, lots of rain, and then there's a cutoff line with the ice and sleet, thunder, and all this stuff they're talking about. It's just wild weather going on out there, and it's all within this strip. This strip is all being driven by the jet stream and an upflow from the Caribbean. I hope that was clear enough, guys. I hope everyone has a great day. I will be back later on this afternoon with another update, and I have a 2018 Atlantic hurricane season prediction video, or at least my assessment of what we are going to see. Hopefully I get that up today. If not, then definitely tomorrow. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.